Um, because before floss tube, I didn't know anything about Q-snaps. I didn't know what they were, what they were used for. Oblivious, because there are no stitchers in my town that I know of. I mean, if they are, they're hidden. and like I said, that, well, like several people have said, when I started looking for cross-stitch ideas and videos and some type of connection with somebody on YouTube, this was about 1.5 years ago. There were very few out there that were filming, and the few that I did find were very older videos. Like Bhakti Threads has a channel, but it's old. I mean, there's nothing updated on there. And then there were the ones that just, you know, they showed you how to do the X's. There was I think I started watching Jellicles Forever. Emma. I found her first. She was the one that I really followed in the beginning, and then I think I found Stitching May after that. But those are the only two that I really found until I started looking for it on Facebook. And then that's when I found more people on Facebook, and it just blew up from there. I think I'm at 10 months of doing this now. I'm at about 10 months. I've had my YouTube channel for 2 or 3 years, but I never put anything up. I never did anything with it. Like a lot of people out there that watch YouTube videos, they'll sign on with an account so that they could subscribe, but they don't, you know, not everybody does anything with it. You can be anonymous that way. Number 3, what do you have the most of in your stash? Patterns, floss, fabric, or others, such as beads. Patterns. Mine is patterns, because I know I have more than I'll ever stitch in my lifetime. So I have to say my patterns because I'm constantly needing fabrics and floss. Especially, and beads. I showed you guys, you know, not everybody does anything with it. You can be anonymous that way. Number 3, what do you have the most of in your stash? Patterns, floss, fabric, or others, such as beads. Patterns. Mine is patterns, because I know I have more than I'll ever stitch in my lifetime. So I have to say my patterns because I'm constantly needing fabrics and floss, especially, and beads. I showed you guys this. This is my beads, only because they were on clearance and they were really cheap, and I'm going to use them in something one day. I don't know yet. Uh-oh. I better get the hang of it before they go everywhere. Let's see. Besides your L&S, which I don't have, and the Big Box Craft Store, where is your favorite place to buy stitching supplies? Well, right now it is 123 Stitch. I think that's it. That's where I get my supplies, because they usually have really good prices. They have really good sales. And that is just, yeah, financially, that's my go-to. Number 5, name one item you have purchased that was not meant for cross-stitch use that you have repurposed for your craft. I don't think I have one, except for maybe that little pouch bag that I showed you guys last week. I think it was originally intended for school supplies, pencils, pins, that type thing, but I use it for my cross-stitch stash. That's where I keep my little container of needles and my thread heaven and my little my rings that hold my flosses, and so yeah, I don't think that's what it was intended for, but that's what I use it for. And so yeah, I don't think that's what it was intended for, but that's what I use it for. Number 6, name one item in your stash that you were enabled to purchase after seeing someone else with that item. That would be Joan Elliott's Bewitching. Yep, that's exactly I saw that and went, oh, I've got to have that. I saw Father, Son, and Mother Moon, and I just fell in love and said, I've got to have that book because this woman is really amazing. If someone asked you what was the one must-have pattern that they had to have in their stash, which pattern would you recommend? Something that you would what would I recommend? What pattern would I recommend? I'm gonna say Noah's Sub. I gotta tell you, because even though I've put it off, and there's, other than me and Lori, Organic Granny, that are stitching it, I know that there's another person that finished it, and then there's another lady that's working on it that I found on Instagram. I say that because it's precious. It gives you, I think it's awesome because it gives you a different take on Noah's Ark. You don't even have to be spiritual to really like and appreciate this piece, because I personally love it because of the aquatic qualities on it. The fish and but it's really cool because you've got the fish and the whale and the dolphins and everything in the ocean, because that stuff was around at the time. And then you've got, of course, the Ark. You've got all the animals that are looking out the sub windows, which is really cool. And then you've got everybody up on deck because the top looks like the Ark. And then you've got, the cutesy of this, one of them monkeys flying a kite, and then you've got the birds. I like that because it's a nice play on Noah's Ark, Noah's Sub. So yeah, that would be something I would recommend people get in their stash if they can find it. Oh look, sun's coming back out. Yay, I'm gonna be washed out. Okay. All right, number 8. If someone asked you what one designer they had to check out to enhance their stash, who would it be? Everybody's, suggests the Nora Corbett's for the memorabilia. Of course, now Nora Corbett is more than just memorabilia. I have found that out. I just knew it was Nora Corbett before memorabilia. And then, of course, other people would, I'm not going to say Nora Corbett memorabilia. I'm not going to say Joan Elliott. It's funny. I'm going to say custom crafts. And I'll tell you why. Custom crafts does darker things. A lot of their patterns are done on the navy and the black. I'll be right back. I'm right here. I thought I'd pull it out so I can show you what I'm talking about. Oh, and cross my heart. Yeah, cross my heart. I like cross my heart. Okay. Sorry about that. So I say custom crafts because the 3 that I have are of the horses. But they also have some enchantment stuff. They've got swans. They've got water tiger. Janet Cruz Designs, I guess, is who it is. But the way that Custom Crafts puts it together is just so beautiful. Okay, so I'll show you some of these. There's a glare. Don't like to see. You've got fire and ice. And then you've got, well, here's fire and ice. I've got the fire and ice. See how dark it is? But it's beautiful. And then you've got Storm Encounter. See how dark that is? Can you see it? Then you've got, this is the 4-Horse Apocalypse. They are solid pieces, but they're done on, they're so well done. You would think there's some confetti, but it's really not that bad. That's the 4-Horse Apocalypse. Got those for an awesome deal. But they also have, like, there's a lynx and a water tiger. Here's an enchantment. It's got a, oh, look at this enchantment. Okay, can you see that? Let's see if I can get that in. It's a unicorn with its back, with its head turned around towards its back, because you're looking at its rear end with butterflies. I don't think I've ever seen one like that. I love that. And then down here you've got the water tiger, and then over here you've got the lynx. That one right there. I like that. But anyway, so yeah, custom crafts. That's KUSTOMKRAFTS. It's Janet Cruz Designs. So I like Janet Cruz Designs. But that's what I would recommend. And I found, believe, it's Stony Creek. But I thought it was Joan Elliott. It's got little doves on it. Let me see who the designer is on this one. It doesn't say. It doesn't say. Well, that's not cool. It calls for rainbow blending threads and color wash, Japanese hand-painted silk threads, Mill Hill beads, gold charms. So yeah, that's all out of my budget range. So I may end up adapting it, but I really would like to stitch it the way it is. So that's the believe that I was talking about. Isn't that gorgeous? Yeah, and that's the one that Carolyn said that she had. Anyway, so that's Katie's tag, Stash Queen. Now Teresa Little Stitcher. Alright, number 1, do seasons affect your stitching pattern? Do you stitch less in the summer? This is going to sound terrible, I'm not much of a summer person. I never have been. Spring and fall, those are mine. I love spring and fall. It's just the temperatures are great. People are getting all snuggly in the fall and starting to hibernate, and people are, in the spring is when everything's new and bright and cheery. It's like the beginning and end of the 2 harsh seasons where you've got winter and summer. So as far as like it affecting my stitching, not really, because I'm not much of an outdoorsy type of person. I don't stitch outdoors usually. If I do, it's crochet, but it's not cross stitch. Everything, to me, for me, cross stitching is homey. It's comforting. It's like having that morning cup of coffee when you're relaxing, or sitting and reading the newspaper, or I mean, it's just it's an old friend. It's very comforting for me. So yeah, seasons do not affect me personally, because I'm a homebody. Alright, number 2. Do you prefer stitching with a lap stand, on a floor stand, or in hand? I prefer in hand. I have a lap stand over here. And you're gonna think I'm a dunce, but I would tell you this. And when I tell you this, you're going to crack up. I've had this lap stand for like 3 or 4 years now. I've never used it. I'll show you why. Alright, I can't believe that was 23 minutes. Wow. Ooh. Either that or that thing's just running fast. Okay, so anyway, I'm sorry I'm making this so long. I may cut it into 2 videos. Alright, so like I said, you're going to laugh at me. So I took this bar off and raised it as high as it would go. And I thought you were supposed to take this part and put it under your leg. Yep, that's what I thought. I thought you were, I've got big thighs. I'm a big girl. And I tried to hook it under my leg and had it up as high as I could. And I was like, how in the world do you, this was before I knew about two-handed stitching too. I thought only quilters did two-handed stitching. I didn't know that cross-stitchers did two-handed stitching. Because of the floss tube community, we're finally getting our know-how and knowledge to other people out there, and the people who are taught different ways. Example, Teresa the Little Stitcher. She started out with the framing and the stands and the two-handed and the parking. And I mean, when you start out of the gate like that, that's amazing, because that's what you're taught. And she learned it from most people on FlossTube. So, Maddie's time just ran out. Anyway, she was allowed only an hour of screen time because she got in trouble last week. Anyway, so I'm old school. In hand, back and forth, one-handed, in a hoop. And so anyway, so yeah, laugh at me. It's okay. I don't mind. Go ahead. Take your moment. Crack up. It's okay. Because I did, until I realized that you're supposed to set the bar in your lap and two-handed stitch. You can't see this. See? You set the bar in your lap like this and stitch. Yes, I'm a dunce. I told you. I told you. See? I didn't know. It didn't come with instructions. So that's my story with my lap stand. So back to the question. Do you prefer stitching with a lap stand, on a floor stand, or in hand? Right now it's in hand. I have tried my, wait a minute, let me put you back. I've tried my floor stand, and what I put in my floor stand has been too heavy, so I'm thinking I might try it with, and I've told you this before, I'm going to try it with the lighter, they're not made, the one that I have is not made for Q-snaps. So I'm going to try it with either that scroll frame. That's the only scroll frame I have. If not, I'm just going to stick to my in hand, so. I seem to go pretty quick that way anyway. Do you prefer stitching with a Q-snap, a hoop, a Q-snap, a frame, or in hand? I think I just answered that one too. I love the Q-snap. I will do my edges in hand. I find that to be quicker. I do the sewing method. I've done that forever. But as far as like a project, start out with hoops. Start out with hoops. Discovered Q-snaps, and I'm in love. I have rearranged them to make them to the size that I need them to be. I have 3, 4, 5, I think I have 6 of them, and I will take them apart to where they're the size that I need them to be. Number 4, do you use a stitching light or no additional lighting? If yes, do you use a floor stand or a clip-on light? If I'm doing white on white, or if I'm working with dark fabric, I will use additional light other than my lamp that I use. I have an OT light that I have barely hanging on because it's fallen and broken so many times. I would like to have a stand-up light, but as far as like a clip-on light, I find that it just gets in the way of, because I'm in hand stitching. If I had it on a frame, it would probably be different. I mean, on a floor stand, it'd probably be different. But in hand, it's just so many different things are on, you know, with the needle minders and the clips and the everything. To me, it's just too cluttered. I can't function that way. The way that my couch is, which is where I usually stitch in the corner of my couch, I will take my OT light, which is a desk lamp, and it's also a clip-on lamp. I will set it behind me or on the back arm of the chair and angle it down to where it's right on my project if I'm working with, like I said, white on white or dark fabric. But that's the only time I use a light. Number 5, do you use the magnifier? If yes, do you use the one with the arm that clips on or glasses? Years ago I bought what's called mag eyes. There was a show called Elaine's Creative Living. I can't remember if it was on one of the public televisions or anyway, maybe it was on Lifestyle or something, but it's called Elaine's Creative Living. I love that show. That and Carol Duvall. And they're not even on anymore. You don't see any crafting shows on TV anymore. But anyway, they featured Mag Eyes, and it's this headband that you put on your face. It sits right here, and the eyes come down. And if you wear glasses or don't wear glasses, they're just little magnifying lenses that are in the shape of a rectangle, so that you can do your work, and you can just lift it up on the visor and slide it down whenever you need it. I also have, it goes around your neck. It's in one of my boxes. I'll have to get it out one day for you. It's like a rope that goes around your neck, and it sits right here on your chest, and it's a magnifying glass with a light on the other side that you turn on. It has 2 different degrees of magnifying. It has micro magnifying and then regular magnifying in this round piece. It's about this big, about that big. I find it gets in the way. I have all these great gadgets that I have gotten, and they look fabulous whenever I see people use them. I've gotten them and they go in a box. So, I have no clue where my Mag Eyes are. I like both of them. I like the Mag Eyes, and I like the little chest holding hoop thing. Like I said, it rests like this on your chest. Up against your chest. Has little legs that sits there on your boobs. So yeah, so I do not use them. I used to in the past. I just blow up my patterns when because I print, I do working copies. I just blow them up. That way I don't need a magnifying glass. Now, when it comes to smaller fabrics, I just bring it closer. I just always have just brought it closer. Now, eventually, with my aging and my eyes starting to go bad, if I worked on 1/1 other than 22 count, it's possible I would probably need a different magnifier at that point. But in the meantime, no. Number 6, do you stitch one-handed, two-handed, or both? Just answered that. I do one-handed. I am trying two-handed. Number 7, do you prefer to stitch alone in a quiet quiet place or around the family and in a living area? I prefer alone and quiet. I feel like I go quicker. I'm not distracted. I don't get my counts off. I find that if there are other people around me, or rather, if I'm in a social environment where other people are wanting to talk to me. Now, I can stitch with people around me because I can zone them out. But if I'm in an environment where other people are that want to interact with me, I find it difficult because I lose count. Unless I'm doing like a block of color, then I don't mind. But otherwise, no, I'm in my zone. Yeah, I focus in my zone. Number 8, what is your preferred fabric and preferred count of that fabric? I like the 22. I have not worked on anything smaller. So between, I know a lot of people don't like the 14 AIDA, and once they go away from the 14 AIDA, they don't want to go back. I like the 18 count AIDA. I am looking forward to one day doing the 32 and the 36. Especially if there's fractionals. I understand it's a dream, and I could see how that would be a plus. I haven't worked on those even weaves yet, but I'm looking forward to possibly doing some of my Garfields on them, so I think that would be fun. So right now, preferred fabric is still AIDA, all sizes. Not 11, ever 11, no. Number 9, in your time stitching, have you ever lost your stitchy bug? If so, how many times have you lost it, and how did you get it back? The only time I've ever lost my stitching bug is when I'm sick and I just don't feel like moving my arms. Right now, I have an issue with my shoulder. I don't know if it's bursitis, or if it's because that actually runs in my family, or if it's, I haven't gone to the doctor on it yet, or if it is a, what do you call it, my rotator cuff. Either way, I find it difficult at times to brush my hair. I have not been medically diagnosed, so please don't, yeah, I haven't been medically diagnosed. This is, all I know is the excruciating pain that I'm in. I do have neuropathy because I'm diabetic, and before it was caught in time that I had diabetes, how they found it was I went in because I was having all these pains, and that's how I found out I had neuropathy, which is nerve damage caused by the diabetes that I didn't know I had. So because of that, apparently I'd had it for at least 10 years before it was diagnosed, and the damage was already done. So we don't know if it's part of, I don't know if it's part of that or what, but I know that I can't, it's the little things like brushing my hair sometimes really is excruciating, or fastening my brassiere, fastening and unfastening it, and it's so bad. But I'm not going to tell you my sob story, it's pitiful. So how did I get it back? I haven't lost it. I switch back and forth between my cross stitch and my crochet, so I think that's why I haven't lost it, because I do go back and forth, so I don't get either bored with it or I don't get frustrated with it, because I do go back and forth. Let's see. Number 10, do you travel and stitch? Would you or do you stitch on public transport, or is it a home hobby only? I don't stitch. Would you or do you stitch on public transport, or is it a home hobby only? I don't stitch when I travel because I don't travel. I drive everywhere, so I can't do it obviously while I'm driving. We don't have any kind of transit here in this little town. They just got some kind of busing system, but I'm in the country, so I drive. It is a home hobby. I will take it with me when I'm going to do my laundry at the laundromat, but other than that, it's pretty much a home hobby. But starting this hopefully new job, it will be part of my lunch hour, because I get a whole hour for lunch, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to getting 30 minutes for lunch, and so that extra 30 minutes, I'm not going to know what to do with myself. So more than likely, you guys will see projects that are strictly for the office. So that is it. My throat is gone. I did want to show you guys something because I misread one of Katie's questions. And it was, what is your favorite pattern in your stash that you haven't started yet? Oh, no, I'm sorry. I did say it was Believe, but it actually wasn't Believe. I lied. That is one of them. The other one is called Fish City. And I think somebody else showed this, or maybe somebody else actually had started this, and I can't remember if I saw it on Instagram. I don't think I saw it on FlossTube. I could be wrong. But it's by Stony Creek again. I love Stony Creek. They are so... And some of the things, they do a lot of back stitching on theirs. I try some of my little cutesy patterns you've seen of like my fish, or my ants, like my aunt carrying hot dog and my aunt and cheeseburger, and I couldn't think of a clever title for that. So, the ideas came from looking at Stony Creek patterns because they're so cutesy, but they do blocks of color with shading and a lot of back stitch, and all mine are full crosses for the beginner to make it easy. But anyway, so I'm going to show it to you because I went ahead and pulled it out. It's book number 360, and it's called Fish City. It is an 18-page excuse me, it's an 18-page pattern. It is huge. Excuse me. It is huge, and it takes look at all these colors. Oh my gosh. I want you to look at all those colors that it takes. See, is that not crazy? It is substantially, it's twice as big as Noah's Sub. No, a sub's only 9 pages. This is 18, so it's twice as big. No, a sub, and see, and even here they recommend 11 count AIDA. I have a bold of 11 count AIDA, and there is no freaking way I will ever do anything that big on 11 count AIDA. Ever. Ever again. But they do give the dimensions for 14 and 18 count as well. And let me tell you, for the 18 count, which is also 36 count if you're going to do it on linen and anyway, 2/2. The dimensions on that are 22.5 by 16 1/4. That is just the design. Now you're going to add 3 inches, or add 6 to those dimensions, because 3 inches on each side. So you're looking at roughly 30 by 25. Roughly 30 by 25 inches on an 18 or 36 count. Huge. Massive. Huge. But that's one in my stash that I would love to do. I actually have a piece of 22 count measured out, ready to go, with lots of cat fur. Keeping it company. And this is what size it is on the 22 count. Can you see that? Yeah. So I'm thinking, to me, 2/1 on the 22 count is pretty, but it's kind of thick. And after doing several solid pieces that way, I'm running out of time again. After doing 2 solid pieces that way, I decided I'm not gonna. I'm gonna do 10 stitch. I'll do one or maybe continental, because that way at least the back will be covered more. You use the same amount of floss, but at least it wouldn't look so bulky. But anyway, so yeah, Fish City, I had to show that. So that's it. That's all I got. I can't think of anything else. Everything's covered. Showed my stash. Yeah. So, oh, birthday bash. The word birthday with 48 right beside it. 25% off my entire shop. My birthday is next Wednesday, August the 26th. There's another lady that watches my floss tube that her birthday's the same day as mine, but she doesn't know it. She will now, but she left me a message and I haven't commented yet. I'm going to do that later this afternoon when I load this up. But yeah, so anyway, so the whole month of August, 25% off everything in my Etsy shop. It's Young 40 Mom on my Facebook page as well. And I have patterns on my Facebook page that are not on my Etsy shop yet, just for this occasion. Like I said, it's 25% off everything, crocheted stuff, everything. So take advantage of that if you can, or if you want to, or just go check it out. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. Wish me luck. Hopefully I have better news for you next Tuesday. I'll be starting a new job. If I do, this will definitely be coming up late, because it's going to be 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. So I will not be filming until after 5, so that means it might be a day late. We'll see. I may end up filming Monday night if I get the job. If I get the job, I'll film Monday night and post it so you guys can see it Tuesday, so you can rejoice in my happiness. So anyway, that's it. Thank you for sharing this craziness with me. I hope you guys have a great week, and we will see you tomorrow for the Book Review Wednesday.